For my cross-cultural interview, I interviewed Zé Ferreira, who is the brother of my stepmother, Carmen. Zé was born in Angola on the western coast of South Africa on April 8, 1962. He has lived in Angola, Portugal, and the USA and speaks French, Spanish, Portuguese, and English. Zé has an elaborate education with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, postgraduate studies in philosophy, world religion, psychology, and business and entrepreneurship that has brought him around the world working as a consultant for large corporations. Being of Portuguese descent and a colorful background, Zé conveyed a number of interesting philosophies and stories that distinguished his cultural background from that of a native-born American. In comparing and contrasting Zé's Portuguese culture with that of American culture, there are some unique differences and similarities. Of the differences I noted were Zé's explanation of his culture's view on work. He described work as being a means to self-expression and physical sustenance, not an end in itself. Work in American culture is very much about power, prestige, and the means of being able to gain a lifestyle generally a couple grades above our salaries. We begin to live to work instead of work to live. Similarly, Zé described time as being, quote, the stage upon which life and its mysteries reveal their inner secrets. This struck me as a pleasant view of time, as time often feels like a nuisance that keeps me on my toes as there is never enough. As similarities, Zé noted American architecture as being representative of vast cultures from around the world, including that of his Portuguese heritage. He stated that, quote, it is not difficult for anyone anywhere to find a little of themselves in their culture in what has become America. When I consider the childhood experiences created by Zé's culturally diverse upbringing in comparison to that of my own Americanized experience, the two are like night and day. Zé had fascinating stories about growing up in the proverbial outback, that in which native Africans practice ancient tribal rituals and wild animals threaten not only your family's livestock, but the lives of your families. He recalled how the white minority held majority power and how that created an interesting mixing pot of cultures and conflicts. I learned of the influences of these experiences on his religious beliefs that revolve around human connection to the earth. Being of Portuguese descent, he is of course Catholic, although non-practicing. He described his deep beliefs to be of humanistic and in oneness, quote, the interplay between a physical universe and the creative intelligence of the divine. This provided the most uncomfortable differences for me as an interviewer, where it was interesting to learn of such philosophies or beliefs. I in turn have my very own strong faith tied to Christianity. It is obvious that influences of culture and life in different countries causes us all to have different realities and beliefs that, although we may not agree on, each can be appreciated for their sanctity. Of the most interesting aspects of our interview was his viewpoint of America and what he appreciates and dislikes about this country. Zé has a passion for America that I believe many Americans lack. In asking Zé what he likes about most about American culture, he responded, quote, I like and remain inspired by the ideas of the founding fathers in this country. Now I am concerned that that ideal is but a vague memory and that we have deviated off course. These invaluable principles seem forgotten by today's citizens who have subjugated their responsibilities of citizenship to a sense of entitlement and the right to be consumers first. And what he stated as disliking about American culture was, quote, we have become complacent and unwise neighbors in the community of nations. We are feared and have often adopted double standards for our dealings with the world community. Although Zé is very proud of his culture and heritage, he refers to himself as an American and strongly believes in what it is to be a citizen of this country. I cannot and probably never will feel or speak in the way he does about a secondary country or home that has become so fully a part of who he is. That right there makes me proud to be from the culture and country I am, but at the same time appreciative and more accepting of the Portuguese heritage that is so traditional yet adaptive. Perhaps most importantly from this interview, I realized just how much I can learn from a man like Zé, who was not only educationally superior, but in himself multiculturally diverse.